Alabama is home to numerous haunted locations, each with its own dark history and chilling tales. An old Southern plantation house, wrapped in ghost stories of Civil War soldiers and lingering former residents, is known for shadowy apparitions and unexplained cold spots. Another infamous location is a decaying, abandoned hospital, where the sounds of long-gone patient cries and faint footsteps are often heard echoing through empty corridors. There's also a historic bridge where spectral lights and mysterious figures have been spotted, believed to be spirits from a tragic accident. Alabama's haunted sites offer eerie experiences that captivate thrill seekers and ghost hunters alike. Now we will visit some of the most haunted places in Alabama. Number 1. Dead Children's Playground. Dead Children's Playground, hidden within Huntsville, Alabama's Maple Hill Cemetery, is one of the most haunted and eerie places in the state. Tucked away behind the largest and oldest cemetery in Huntsville, this small playground has gained a chilling reputation for its supernatural activity and ghostly encounters, especially around midnight. Local legends and eerie events surround this playground, lending it a dark mystique that has captivated ghost hunters and curious visitors alike. The playground itself is a simple, open area, featuring swings, slides, and picnic tables, all of which are surrounded by towering limestone cliffs. The isolation and the eerie quiet of this spot give it a naturally unsettling atmosphere. During the day, it may seem like any other playground, but by night, the aura shifts dramatically, giving visitors an uncomfortable feeling of being watched. The playground's chilling name originates from tales involving the spirits of children who are believed to haunt the area. In the early 1900s, a series of child disappearances struck Huntsville. Though the exact details remain murky, some locals claim that a number of these missing children were later found dead within the limestone caves nearby. Some accounts suggest that these tragic events were the result of a madman targeting young ones. Others say it was simply a string of terrible accidents. Although these stories aren't officially documented, they persist in local lore and contribute to the playground's haunted reputation. One of the most common paranormal experiences at Dead Children's Playground involves the swings. It's said that late at night, the swings will begin to move on their own, often with no breeze to explain the motion. Witnesses have described seeing the swings sway back and forth, as if invisible children are playing on them. Some have even heard faint, ghostly giggles or whispers, echoing through the quiet playground. These eerie sounds, combined with the sight of empty swings in motion, create a spine-tingling experience for visitors. Another eerie tale associated with the playground involves the sighting of shadowy figures or misty apparitions. People report seeing figures of children darting between the playground equipment, only for the figures to vanish when approached. A few ghost hunters claim to have captured images of strange orbs or unexplained shapes on camera, which they believe to be the spirits of the children who lost their lives in the area. It is also common for visitors to experience sudden, drastic temperature drops, as well as feelings of sadness or unease, especially near the swings and slide. One of the most famous stories connected to Dead Children's Playground involves a local woman who visited the site in search of her own spiritual encounter. During her visit, she reportedly felt a small hand grasp her arm, though no one was there. She described the touch as cold and gentle, almost like a child tugging at her sleeve. Afterward, she heard a faint whisper saying, "Come play," and she quickly left the playground, shaken by the encounter. In addition to these spine-chilling tales, some believe that Dead Children's Playground is a spiritual crossroads, a place where the veil between worlds is thin. The proximity to Maple Hill Cemetery likely adds to this reputation. Established in 1822, Maple Hill Cemetery is home to over 80,000 graves, making it one of the oldest and largest cemeteries in Alabama. Given its size and age, the cemetery itself is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Many believe that the restless spirits from the cemetery have crossed over into the playground, drawn perhaps by the innocence and joy it represents. Despite efforts by the city to remove or relocate the playground over the years, locals protested fiercely, citing its importance to both the living and the dead. As a result, Dead Children's Playground remains in place, with locals viewing it as a tribute to the young lives lost and a symbol of remembrance for Huntsville's past. Today, Dead Children's Playground is both a place of intrigue and a haunting reminder of forgotten tragedies. Whether one believes in the paranormal or not, The playground exudes a mysterious energy that is hard to ignore. It stands as a ghostly gathering spot where the whispers of history echo, and the spirits of children, some believe, continue to play. Number 2. Highway 5 in Alabama. Highway 5 in Alabama has long been notorious for eerie tales and unexplained happenings that chill travelers to the bone. Stretching through the heart of Alabama, this highway has earned a reputation as one of the state's most haunted routes. Along this highway, countless drivers have reported seeing spectral apparitions, hearing ghostly sounds, and feeling an unnerving presence that seems to follow them. Here's a look at the spine-tingling tales and haunted history that make Highway 5 a spot where the supernatural seemingly roams free. One of the most famous stories along Highway 5 is that of the Phantom Hitchhiker. Legend has it that a young woman dressed in a flowing white dress is often spotted on the side of the road, especially on foggy nights. She appears to be a normal person at first glance, standing beside the highway, and even signals to passing cars as if she needs a ride. Kind-hearted drivers who stop to pick her up quickly realize she's anything but normal. As soon as they open the door or reach out to her, she vanishes into thin air, leaving them chilled and bewildered. Some say that she was once a bride who tragically died on her wedding day in a car accident along Highway 5, and her restless spirit still haunts the place, seeking her lost love or trying to complete the journey she never could. Those who have seen her describe her as having sad eyes and an aura of sorrow, suggesting a spirit trapped by heartbreak and tragedy. Another spine-tingling tale associated with Highway 5 is the story of the ghostly school bus. According to local legend, decades ago, a school bus carrying young children was involved in a fatal accident along this road. Ever since, on certain nights, drivers report hearing the sound of children laughing and talking as they drive through the area, even though there's no one around. Others have witnessed an apparition of a bus driving down the road, only for it to disappear into thin air. The story goes that the children's spirits remain on Highway 5, eternally bound to the place where their lives ended so tragically. Some witnesses claim that if they drive by at midnight, they can see small handprints on their car windows, as if tiny hands were reaching out for help. This haunting scene has left many drivers and passers-by feeling a mix of sadness and unease. One of the most talked about legends on Highway 5 involves the tragic bride. As the story goes, a young woman was set to be married, but died unexpectedly in a car crash on her way to her wedding. Since that day, her spirit is said to wander Highway 5, still dressed in her wedding gown, searching for her groom. Many drivers have reported seeing her standing by the roadside, looking forlorn and lost. Some have even tried to stop and help her, but she always disappears before they can approach. The tragic bride is often seen near a specific bend in the road, where it's believed her accident occurred. This haunting sighting is a reminder of a love story that ended too soon, and many believe that her spirit will remain on Highway 5 until she is finally reunited with her lost love. Along Highway 5, there are stretches where the road is flanked by dense, dark woods that are said to be haunted as well. People have reported seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees or appearing on the road before vanishing without a trace. Some locals believe these figures are the spirits of people who lost their lives in accidents on this highway, while others think they could be spirits from long before the highway was built, as Native American legends speak of this land being sacred. Many who travel Highway 5 report strange sensations and unexplained sounds, even when they can't see anything unusual. Some drivers say they suddenly feel overwhelmingly cold or experience a strong sense of dread as they drive through certain sections of the highway. Others have heard whispers, moans, or faint footsteps in their cars, especially when driving alone at night. These experiences have left even the most skeptical individuals questioning what might really be lurking on Highway 5. There are various theories as to why Highway 5 seems to be a magnet for supernatural activity. Some believe it's because of the tragic accidents that have occurred along this route over the years, with the spirits of those who died unable to move on. Others think the highway is built on or near land with spiritual significance, possibly cursed or haunted by spirits from Alabama's past. Either way, the road has earned a place in Alabama folklore as one of the state's most haunted locations. For those brave enough to drive Highway 5, these tales serve as both a warning and a mystery. Whether it's the Phantom Hitchhiker, the ghostly school bus, or the tragic bride, Highway 5 has become a haunting reminder of lives lost and stories left unfinished. And for those who believe, it's a place where the line between the living and the dead is. Number 3. Old Bryce Hospital. Old Bryce Hospital, located near Northport in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama, is widely regarded as one of the state's most haunted places. Originally built in 1861 as the Alabama State Hospital for the Insane, it housed patients suffering from various mental illnesses. The hospital, often called Bryce Hospital, was initially meant to provide compassionate care and rehabilitation. However, due to severe overcrowding, underfunding, and lack of proper oversight, conditions at Old Bryce Hospital quickly deteriorated, leading to neglect, abuse, and tragic deaths. The suffering endured by many patients has left behind a dark legacy, with numerous accounts of paranormal activity reported by those who dared to visit. The hospital's most infamous ghost story involves the spirits of former patients who endured horrendous conditions. It's said that many of these patients suffered terribly, as mental health care in the 19th and early 20th centuries was often brutal and dehumanizing. Visitors report seeing shadowy figures moving through the halls, believed to be the restless spirits of those who passed away within the hospital's walls. The spirits are often described as quiet, solemn figures who wander the corridors aimlessly. Some people say these figures appear to be patients, often showing signs of distress or confusion. Those who have witnessed these apparitions feel a deep sense of sadness, as though the spirits are reliving their traumatic experiences. Another well-known story revolves around the mysterious screams and whispers that echo through the abandoned rooms and hallways. Many who visit Old Bryce Hospital report hearing the faint, anguished cries of former patients, especially at night. Some say they hear whispering voices that seem to be coming from empty rooms, as if the spirits are trying to communicate. The cries range from soft murmurs to full-blown screams, and many visitors feel an overwhelming sense of dread as they hear these sounds. Ghost hunters who have investigated the site say these cries are the most disturbing evidence of the hospital's haunted past, as they seem to echo the real suffering that took place. Visitors also report strange physical sensations, such as sudden cold spots and the feeling of being watched. Some people have felt an invisible presence brushing against them or pulling on their clothes. In certain areas, especially in the basement and the main ward, visitors say they feel as if they're being followed by unseen forces. Paranormal investigators have captured orbs and strange shadows in photographs, and equipment often malfunctions unexpectedly within the hospital walls. Many believe these occurrences are evidence of spirits attempting to make their presence known. The hospital is also home to the ghostly nurse legend. Some claim to have seen the apparition of a nurse dressed in old-fashioned white clothing wandering through the halls. She appears to be conducting her rounds, occasionally bending over as if tending to a patient who isn't there. Witnesses describe her as calm but somber, as though she's aware of the suffering around her, but is powerless to help. The ghostly nurse is not known to be harmful, yet her presence is unsettling, reminding visitors of the horrors that took place there. One specific area of Old Bryce Hospital that is particularly notorious is the isolation ward. This was where difficult or severely ill patients were held. Many people report intense feelings of despair and terror upon entering this part of the building. The temperature in this area often drops suddenly, and electronic equipment fails inexplicably. Some visitors have reported hearing footsteps echoing through the isolation ward when no one else is around, as well as the sound of metal doors slamming shut on their own. The isolation ward is considered one of the most haunted spots in the hospital, and those brave enough to enter often leave with chilling experiences. Despite its haunted reputation, Old Bryce Hospital continues to attract visitors, including paranormal enthusiasts and thrill seekers. Its decaying structure, broken windows, and graffiti-covered walls only add to the eerie atmosphere, making it a perfect setting for ghost stories. Today, Old Bryce Hospital stands as a dark reminder of the past, where mental health patients once endured unimaginable suffering. Whether or not one believes in the paranormal, the unsettling energy and eerie atmosphere make it hard to ignore the lingering presence of those who suffered within its walls. In the end, Old Bryce Hospital is more than just a haunted site. It is a symbol of the hardships faced by patients who were misunderstood and mistreated. The stories of haunted figures, chilling whispers, and ghostly nurses bring awareness to the hospital's history, ensuring that the pain and stories of those who pass through its doors are never truly forgotten. Number 4. Redmont Hotel. The Redmont Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama, is a famous historic hotel known not only for its elegance and charm, but also for the ghostly tales that surround it. Built in 1925, this luxury hotel has been a staple in Birmingham's downtown for almost a century, hosting famous guests, notable events, and some mysterious occurrences. With its vintage architecture and preserved decor, the Redmont has maintained a classic, old-world charm. However, visitors are often captivated by more than just its beauty. Many come specifically to experience its paranormal reputation. One of the most well-known legends about the Redmont Hotel centers on a wealthy businessman and philanthropist who passed away in the building in the 20th century. Some say his spirit still roams the hallways, particularly on the 9th floor, where he is believed to have stayed. Guests have reported strange occurrences in this part of the hotel, such as feeling cold spots, seeing a faint figure in a suit, or hearing footsteps echoing down empty hallways late at night. Some claim that they've seen his reflection in mirrors, even though no one else was in the room with them. Another spirit said to linger in the Redmont Hotel is that of a woman who died tragically on the premises. While the exact circumstances of her passing remain unclear, her presence has become part of the hotel's lore. Guests staying on the higher floors have reported feeling an overwhelming sadness in certain areas and even hearing soft crying or sobbing sounds. Housekeeping staff and some visitors have also noticed a woman in an old-fashioned white dress wandering through the hallways or near the stairs. When they try to approach her, she vanishes, leaving them feeling uneasy but intrigued. The Redmont is also rumored to be haunted by a ghostly canine. A dog once belonged to a prominent guest who stayed at the hotel many years ago, and the pet passed away during their visit. Now, people have reported hearing the sounds of a dog scratching at doors, barking faintly in the distance, or even feeling something brush against their legs as if a dog were running by. Though it might sound playful, these experiences have startled quite a few guests, who are left wondering if the friendly ghost dog is just looking for attention. One of the more frightening stories connected to the Redmont Hotel involves the elevators. Several guests have reported that the elevators seem to move on their own, stopping at floors where no one called for them or traveling to the top floors without anyone pressing a button. Some guests have reported being alone in the elevator when they felt an invisible presence, giving them an eerie, unsettling feeling. There are even stories of guests hearing whispers inside the elevator, though no one else was there with them. Perhaps the most chilling experiences at the Redmont are those of objects mysteriously moving on their own. Some guests have woken up to find their belongings rearranged or notice small items falling from shelves without reason. In the hotel's bar area, glasses have reportedly slid across the counter as though pushed by an invisible hand. Staff and patrons alike have witnessed these odd occurrences, attributing them to the restless spirits who supposedly haunt the hotel. Despite its haunted reputation, the Redmont Hotel continues to be a popular destination, particularly for those fascinated by the paranormal. It has even drawn the attention of ghost hunters and paranormal investigators, some of whom claim to have recorded unusual sounds, voices, and inexplicable phenomena. The hotel management embraces the stories as part of the Redmont's unique charm, and it's not unusual for guests to book rooms specifically to encounter these ghosts or experience the mysterious happenings. Overall, the Redmont Hotel stands as a place where history and hauntings merge. The stories of ghostly figures, phantom dogs, moving objects, and eerie elevator rides have made the Redmont one of Alabama's most intriguing haunted locations. It holds a fascinating draw for both believers in the paranormal and skeptics, each coming away with their own version of what they experienced within the hotel's walls. Whether it's the beauty of the vintage architecture or the thrill of a ghostly encounter, the Redmont continues to capture the imagination of all who visit, making it not only a landmark of Birmingham, but also a hotspot for ghost stories and chilling tales.